Cascade Hoops Talk, Billy D. Well, we now have our third member of the semifinal Monday night as the Langston Lions have defeated Indiana Wesleyan. Final score of this game was 61-48. Not exactly a offensive juggernaut. It was a hand-to-hand combat, a defensive battle. Let's talk a little bit about it. You know, the game started out with Langston grabbing an early lead, and they just continued to kind of stretch it out. At the 10-minute mark, they went up to 13-5. And then by the 5-minute mark of the first half, they were up 26-22. But right out of the media timeout, Langston went on a 5-0 run, went up 31-22 with 3 minutes to go in the half. And they finished the first half on a 6-3 run. So they went into halftime 37-25, 12-point game at halftime. In the second half, Indiana Wesleyan, Langston's defense was stifling. At the 15-minute mark, it was still 11-point game. Rebounds kind of evened out. Langston dominated the boards early. Indiana Wesleyan got on the boards. But this will tell you how stifling the defense was. Cademan Bontrager, the best shooter in the country, he was, I don't know what he finished, but toward the end of the game, he was 1 for 10. He just couldn't get the ball up and in the bucket. They just... Sorry, people were running around behind me. Langston just held them off every time they got 10 points, 9 points. Langston had another little run for them. It was Langston's defense that definitely won that game. We'll look at the final score. They held Indiana Wesleyan to 48. Anthony Roy, we'll look at the stats in a moment. I think he might have scored just a couple of points, but defensively he was so important. He reminded me tonight a lot of Miles Burns at his senior year there at Loyola, how he just kind of roved the perimeter, directed the defense, ball hawked the ball. That's what Anthony Roy was tonight. And he led the charge as Langston really put the kibosh on Indiana Wesleyan's game tonight. Congratulations to Indiana Wesleyan. Another great year for Coach Tonigal. They get into the they got into the final 8, and Indiana Wesleyan Wildcat fans should be very proud. Why don't we just take a moment and look at the stats? Let's go ahead and start with Langston. Okay, Anthony Roy had 13, 5 rebounds. Like I say, though, I think his big contribution was defensively. Cortez Mosley, his dunk toward the end of the game kind of put this thing out of reach. He ended up with 15 points, 6 rebounds. Not a lot of points to be scored tonight, but Anthony Roy and Cortez Mosley led the way for Langston tonight. Let's take a minute and look at Indiana Wesleyan. For Indiana Wesleyan, DJ Moore, he had 17 points. He really played well. He had 4 personal fouls, kind of hampered him toward the game. I thought he played really well. Griffin Cleaver, he struggled a little bit shooting, 1 for 4 from 3. Javen Buchanan, 12 points, 7 rebounds. If you don't know about Javen Buchanan, write that name down because you're going to hear it a lot next year. This is a very, very talented guy for Indiana Wesleyan. And I'm trying to find Bontrager. So Cademan Bontrager, he ended up with 3, but yeah, he ended up 1 for 10 from the field. And I'm going to remind you, that is the best shooting player in the NAIA. That says a lot about Langston's defense. So Langston is set for Monday. They're going to be in our semifinal. They're going to play the winner of our next game. Right here in front of me right now is Morningside and College of Idaho. This is the 4th game of the night, and whoever wins this game will take on Langston at 7 p.m. on Monday. The other semifinal will be at 5 p.m. Just to remind you, that other semifinal would be Freed Hardeman and Grace at 5 p.m. Central. Also on Monday will be Langston and the winner of this College of Idaho Morningside game. Get on YouTube, watch this Morningside College of Idaho game. This is going to be a good game. Everything's a good game. This is Billy D. We'll talk to you just a little bit later. Thank you.